Dream, search, drive. Cars.co.za.
Keep your adventure alive, because when it comes to finding the right part at the right price, there's just no place like Midas for the love of cars.
My name is Dewald Pretorius. I'm the owner of SPS Racing. It's our hobby shop. We're talking about a Mazda Capella, a 76 model Mazda Capella with a 20B rotary engine in it. The car was originally built in Welkom. I don't know what the original owner's name is. He was a panel beater as far as I know. The car is fairly unique in its stance. You'll see a lot of flares over the wheels, and all of this has been done in metal work. So it's not done by fiberglass or anything like that. The wheels, yeah, no, well, I got it like that. I'm not certain. Obviously, you can look at the arches. It's definitely, the arches is designed around the wheel. You can see it clearly. So, but the car came this way. I assume it was done that way. If you look at the stance, I think the wheels suits the car very nicely. It fits the design very well. But that's the way we bought it. So I don't know. I think if I look at it, definitely it was designed around the wheels. What attracted me to this car was, well, actually, before I got back into rotaries, this is a car I saw in some publication sometime, and I thought, well, this is beautiful, you know. And over time, this thing it got lost a bit. Nobody knew where it was, and then eventually it rocked up in Brits in Northwest. Where I was contacted by the owner, who said if I'm interested to buy the car, which I then did. I was quite lucky, I was quite happy about it. I'm not a big Capella fan, although I'm a big rotary fan, but this Capella was very special. So we bought it. And so what also further is unique about the car is it doesn't come with a normal 12A or 13B naturally aspirated engine. It's got a 20B triple rotary engine in it, which also is peripheral port, which obviously it's a nice performance engine. We had to do a lot of work in terms of, things that perish, like the pipes, the plumbing and everything that went along with that. So everything was replaced with FTF stuff, so all the proper stuff was done to the car. We converted the LT8, it was an old LT8 Microtech ECU unit, which we had to, obviously, you can imagine it's like DOS in the IT world. So it came out with that. It's part of the old school stuff. So we changed that to an LT16. So we obviously upgraded the whole internal part of that. The car further, besides all the FTF piping and obviously just cleaning it up and servicing it and doing certain things properly, the car is what it is now. It's where we like it to be now. We haven't opened up the engine since it was started or built in, I assume, about 12 years ago. The car is still running quite well. At some stage we will obviously opening up and give it the Rotaries, which is our engine builder's company's name, the Rotaries treatment, which probably will help a little more with performance and stuff like that going forward. But the intention of the car is not to be a serious performance car. The idea is to show car, just to a bit of a brand ambassador of Rotary, and especially 20Bs. I just own 20Bs. I just love 20B Rotaries, the sound of 20B Rotaries. So that is basically the car as it is today. It comes with the front suspension is BMW, and the back suspension also BMW suspension with BMW braking. And the gearbox is the normal 5-speed RX-7 gearbox. So that's basically the car. I mean, nothing else. Very basic, very simple, very neat. And that's basically our one of one in the world. And we're very proud of this car. And this car will always be part of the collection and will never go away from here. Oh look, I mean, it's you must always remember it still stays old school. It's rough, it's unrefined, the way we like it. The sound is amazing. I mean, that's why we have these cars. Being a rotary head, it's a bit than normal piston guys. We have a distinct sound, and that sound is that's everything for me. This car's got unique characters, very different to I believe the piston guys. I mean, you get unique piston cars and beautiful piston cars out there, but I mean, Rotary is just, it stands out in the crowd for me. It's something different, and I think that's why we have these cars. Yeah, so from that perspective, it's not, I won't say it's your Mercedes-Benz that you drive in or your BMW. It's old school, it's hard, it's unforgiving, but it's fun in its own way. When you take this thing on the track, your brake, you're all over the place. You have to be careful and very gentle how you drive this thing. No, this thing is not a track car. I mean, I can tell you that. I mean, if you compare it to the FD is like a totally different world compared to this car. I prefer to drive this car straight, and that's the way it's supposed to be driven. I don't think we've taken it around, especially on Rotary, on the Rotor Fest, we took it about around Red Star Raceway, and I tell you, you must know what you do, otherwise you're going to sit in the kitty litter. Look, I mean, like any Rotary, people likes to do donuts with the sound and the smoke and stuff like that. I'm not a big advocate of that. I love to keep my cars intact and not broken. But yeah, we did a show there at Rotor Fest. Yeah, I did some rotaries, donuts with this car. So yeah, we did some very nice donuts. It's got enough power to do proper donuts for sure. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Look, not on this one specifically. There's not a big difference between the FD that you see behind me and this one. I assume it will do roughly, on the wheels we'll be doing roughly around 350 horsepower. Between 300 and 350 horsepower with this one. It's a bit differently tuned than the one in the back. The one in the back does about 400 horsepower. We've done dyno figures on that one before. On the Rotor Fest we did a dyno with this one. I can't even remember the figures now out of my head, but I think it was about 230 kilowatt, I think, on the wheels for naturally aspirated. But this car has not been properly tuned yet since we have installed the LT16 ECU, so it has to go to AJ Racing still for tuning. Yeah, so it's still a bit rough after we've changed the ECU, but that's normally with 20Bs, naturally aspirated. It's between 350 and 400 horsepower on the peripheral port motors. That's normally what they will do. Look, I mean that's quite interesting with this thing. You can't believe old school cars can attract attraction. I think the uniqueness of the car and the way it looks like, makes it crowd pleaser for sure. I mean, you can see it when we take this car out for car shows and so on. It's an attraction. People like it. I think it's unique. I think the reason why they like it, it's the color. It's bright. It pops. And I think the sound, obviously, it's not like a Ford Mark 1 Escort. It sounds different than a Mark 1 Escort. What cars were there in those years that compete? I mean, the typical cars in the 70s. This one really, I think it's one of the better ones, my view, my taste. But yeah, crowd pleaser for sure. And that's why we love it, because as far as the SPS brand goes, we need crowd pleasers to build the brand out there. The same with the FD behind me. It is just cars that attract attention for sure. Tongue in the cheek, we have an engine builder called Rotaries. He builds indestructible engines. I can promise you this. I said to you, this car is about 12 to 15 years old. This engine has never been opened up. The one behind me we launched the car in 2018. And we just killed this thing year after year, no problems at all. We have a track car in a Mazda Capella, driven by Johan Smit in the historics. That car has gone 4 to 5 seasons already without even close opening the gearbox, the engine. What we normally problem with these cars normally is the diffs, obviously, because the way that we drive these things, as if they were stolen every time. You can imagine the stress these gearboxes and clutch takes. Not the clutch, sorry, the diffs. But otherwise, I've got a very simple rule around rotary. Every 2,000 kilometers, we change the oil and the oil filter, and this thing will never break. The interior, it's just clean. I mean, there's nothing fancy in it. It's like old school, still stock standard interior. The back seats, I've seen the previous owners have modified the back seats a bit, you know. But in terms of the dash and everything else, it's just stock standard stuff. But otherwise, the car, as it looked like it came out in '76, is very similar to that. Nothing changed. We are busy with a 20B turbocharged racing car that we're building now, a proper racing car. It's tailor-made for the track and for hill climbs. That's why we build it. That car is the excitement. We're very excited about that car being launched next year. So yeah, the boys are going to get involved with the hill climbs environment next year. They're going to get involved with time attacks and obviously long track racing as well. Both of them. We'll see who's the fastest between the two. They will compete, and there's the one with the slower car and the one with the faster car. So we'll see which names will be put on one of those cars.
If you're new to the Cars.co.za channel, welcome. Thanks for being here. Now, we have over 660 videos on our channel. We've been doing this for nearly 9 years now. So if you're looking for a car review for a car you might be interested in, you'll probably find it in our back catalog. And thanks very much for supporting our channel. We are now the largest motoring channel in South Africa, and the aim is to just keep doing what we do and help South Africa make better purchasing decisions. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.
Cars.co.za.
We got the parts.
I got the part.
I got the part.
When it comes to finding the right part at the right price, there's just no place like Midas for the love of cars.